Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. In today's episode, we are doing a special edition of relationship advice. I just wanted to read this particular story because it sounds interesting. Like the headline, it sounded interesting. So I was like, you know what? Nah, let me go ahead and talk about this real quick, see what it's all about. But yeah, it sounds like a individual is friends with another individual that's a content creator, but she don't create the content that I create. She creates content where if you got caught watching it out in public, yeah, people are gonna look at you like, bro, like out in the public, out in the wild. Wow, all right. I mean, yeah, man, do what you want to do. But anyways, nah, so let's go ahead and read out this headline. So it reads out, my boyfriend girl BFF is a content creator. So the boyfriend's has a friend that's a girl. Okay, because sometimes, yeah, it's like my sister's baby daddy's cousin, nephew, uncle, and it's like, I'm lost. I'm like, we went down the turn. I don't know where I'm going. Like so the boyfriend has a friend that's a woman, and she's a content creator. I don't want him seeing her ever again. This is the rest of the headline. After I learned the truth, but his family says I am tripping. So yeah, let's go ahead and read out this story. So it goes on to say, I've been dating my BF for a couple of months, but we have been friends for about half a year. We met online and he's amazing. He's smart, good looking, and he ticks all the boxes for the perfect, obviously nobody's perfect boyfriend. Things are going good except for the fact that he has a girl bestie who is always behind him. His sister says they are like brother and sister, but I can tell she wants more. Yeah, that's one of those things where it's like, sit down and talk. And I think like that's, how a lot of stuff could just be eliminated if you just sit down and talk. Because I'm like, if I feel that, let's say if I'm in a relationship, and I know people going to probably be all like, nah, that's not the, no. I think communication, and I've said this numerous times before, communication is key. So I am going, if I feel that let's say I'm in a relationship with this woman, she has a boy best friend, and I feel like I'm like, hey, look, bruh, let me know what the situation is. I'm not going to be mad at you. I just need you to understand. If we start getting serious, I don't like, let's say we at our wedding day and then you show up talking about, no, I'm always in love. Like, am I going to have to worry about you doing that? Cause like, I'm saying like, bro, we gonna have to handle this. Like, we gonna have to handle it right now. Like, we gonna have to sit down and talk about this and things. Like, if you got feelings for this girl, it's like, bro, you should have like tried to say or do something prior before we got in a relationship. Why would you wait all of a sudden until now? Then that's when you want to start doing some stuff. So that's why I've been like, nah, sitting down talking with them, then it's like, okay, if they understand where you're coming from, that's the end of it. But if they don't and they're like, well, I'm gonna still try to get mine, I'm like, okay, now it's gonna be a problem. I'm like, and I didn't want it to get to this point, but you done brought it to this point. It's gonna be a problem. So where do we go from here? Because I'm saying, like, if I catch you doing some stuff, like, and I'm saying, bruh, like, it's going to be a problem, okay? So that's why I'm like, yeah, then sit down and talk with the girlfriend. She's like, no, I don't ever see myself being with that guy. Then I'm like, okay, I might be okay, all right? Like, I don't know. But anyways, I'm like, yeah, it's one of those things where it's just, communication needs to be a key factor in situations like this. But so anyways, she goes on to write out, she's one of those quote unquote content creators and she sells videos and pictures online. Dang. Yeah, that's something where, I don't think that I would go for a girl like that. And it's no disrespect. Like, I mean, if that's the career choice that you want to have, fine, go for it. I'm not going to be against it, because I have friends that's in that industry and stuff. And yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, if she were to approach me and be like, hey, or if like relationship was thrown out on the table, I'm like, that's one of those things where I'm like, hey, look, I'm all for it, because this is somebody that I've known for a while and stuff. So I'm like, I'm all for it. It's just that I don't think that it's gonna work. Like, it's one of those things where I'm like, because I do like PG videos. You do like you pretty much do those types of videos where you gotta like go somewhere in private and watch it. I'm like, my videos you could watch it any and everywhere and stuff. So that's why I'm like, it just wouldn't work out, you know. And I'm like, hey, it's one of those things where I'm like, it's no disrespect, I just couldn't do some stuff like that. So maybe the boyfriend might be in the same boat where he's like, oh, I'll never date a girl that does some stuff like that. But you never really know. Like you got it where people, it's like you just don't know unless you ask them about it and stuff. So that's another thing. I'm like, ask the guy about it. Sit down and communicate with them and things. But anyways, so then she goes on to say, I didn't care much at first until now. She's always all over him and always wants a hug from him when she is around. I try my best not to get upset over it, but it's hard. His family all says they're just really good friends and to let them be, but things get worse. Dang. All right. So that's one of those things where I'm like, because I know people will probably be all like, oh, so how would you feel if a guy was like all hugged up with your girlfriend? See, there's a difference between being all hugged up and hugging. If a guy walks up, he gives her a hug, I'm like, okay, gives her a hug. I'm like, he knows her from somewhere. Unless they're doing something extra. I'm saying, like, it was kind of like that episode in Family Guy when Lois needed CPR for in that black dude show. Yeah, if it's some stuff like that, then I'm like, everybody getting tackled. But I'm like, if it's just a simple hug, it's one of those things. I guess like I don't look too deep into things like that. Like I guess like with me, somebody will point that stuff out, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know this. Like, I guess unless I see actual cheating, then I'm like, okay, last I checked, because I guess if it would be the other way around where a girl hugged me and I wouldn't want her to be like, trying to start something about it and stuff. So why would I do that with her, So anyways, I guess, yeah, with me, I don't really care too much about the hugging stuff. But yeah, if he's hugged up, kissing, doing all this other extra stuff, that I'm like, all right, nah, I'm gonna have to, it ain't even gonna be no stuff where I'm like, there's something going on between y'all. I want no parts of it. I ain't trying to have myself in a situation where, I'm fighting a bunch of people and things. So that's why I'm like, nope. I'm like, if there's some shady stuff going on, and I'm like, it needs to be discussed, okay? So, but anyways, but then she goes on to say, I didn't know this until I recently got into an argument with her. Dang, we start arguing, and in the middle of said argument, she told me she didn't care about me and that she had my boyfriend before me anyways, and that she recorded it and has it on her page. I'm like, oh, dang. Wow. Oh, man. Yeah, that's one of those things where it's like, yeah, he should have known that situation wasn't going to go down good. It's like, if you got a positive and a negative, and it's like, it's a high negative, it's like, oh, and you think by adding a little positive to it, no, bruh, you still in the negatives. That is crazy. Man, yeah, that. What my question is how does the family know? Like, why are they like involved in that conversation? That's weird. That's some weird stuff. I'm like, why are you guys like talking about it as if like, what, y'all subscribe to her stuff? Like, yeah, that's weird, man. I'm like, the family, it started clicking in my head. Then it finally clicked, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's a weird. That's a weird circle, and I'm like, I would not want to be a part of that. I'm like, I don't know which is worse, that or a Get Out situation where they trying to extract my brain and put it into some old people and stuff. So I'm like, nah, man, that's that's weird. I'm like, that's some weird stuff. So, but anyways, then she ends it off by saying, my BF never told me this before, and now I'm infuriated. I asked him about it, and he told me it's true, and that he just never wanted to ever bring it up, and it's something he's not proud of. Now I want him to cut her off completely, but his family says I am the problem. How do I handle this? Since they have been friends for so long? Yeah, that's one of those things where it's just, the boyfriend should talk with the friend, and because I was about to say the girlfriend, but I was like, no, he should talk with the friend and let her know, like, hey, this is somebody that, if like, because that's what you gotta ask, like, are you like, is this a serious relationship? Because if not, and you just dating just to be dating, I'm like, fam, no. Like, I guess like if that's what you guys want to do, then okay. But if you ain't never agreed to that, you think you in a serious relationship, and he's just over here just dating for the fun of it, like, oh, let me just post something for Valentine's Day and Christmas and the holidays. Is nah, bro. Like, you got to talk with he has to talk with that girl. He has to talk with the friend, and let her know, like, hey, you can't be doing this like crazy stuff with my girlfriend, because like if it's a serious relationship, then yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, like I'm letting that friend know. Like, the thing is this, it probably wouldn't even have been like her having to, or like a conversation or argument, because I probably would have quietly cut the girl off, because it's one of those things where it's like, it's kind of like you're bringing an ex around. Like, yeah, you guys might have just been, doing stuff just for her like content and things, but yeah, that's something where I'm like, the friend definitely has like some jealousy stuff going on. She knows what she's doing. It's like, you don't just be doing stuff like that the way she's carrying on and stuff, and they just be like, oh no, like I ain't mean anything by it. Then plus how how the person that posted this, like how she said she ended off that argument talking about like, oh, I already had him and stuff. Yeah, that's one of those things where it's like, yeah, she was jealous from the start. So yeah, you definitely, the guy has to talk with the friend, let her know like, hey, if you can't respect my girlfriend, then that's one of those things where it's like, yeah, the girlfriend, she already got her mind made up that she wants the girl to be cut off. So it's like, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you gotta, like, I guess like talking to the guy, you're now in a situation to where like you're cornered and you need to make a choice. Do you continue being with your girlfriend, or do you because like the thing is this, you have to sit down and think about it. If you don't end this stuff right now with the friend, this is going to be every relationship unless you meet somebody in the same field as her and stuff. But if you ain't meeting nobody in the same field as her, and you meeting all these normal girls, they ain't doing that type of stuff, then yeah, bro, you gonna have to, you're in a situation where you have to make a choice. You either be with your the friend that you did the content stuff with, or you have to be with your girlfriend. But you can't have the best of both worlds, bro. Like, nah, man. That's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you are now stuck, okay? You are now in the get out in the get out zone, and you got to figure it out. Like, what are you gonna do with this situation? Because you break things off with your girlfriend and you're like, hey, this is a friend of mine's, like, I can't just end things off like that, then you might as well be in a relationship with that girl. Because it's like, talking about the friend and stuff, because it's like I said, that's going to be every single relationship. You're going to get in all these different relationships. They all go in the same way because of this one particular girl that has this, this friend of yours that has this jealousy thing going on. So it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, and then it's like, okay, then you end things, because I know people probably be all like, okay, well, how does he end things off with the friend? Like, you just end the friendship? I'm like, fam, I done had people that I was close with that I thought, like, okay, I'm gonna be friends with them for the rest of my life. I haven't talked to them in years. Like, there's people where I'm like, hey, you know what? You live your life, you do your thing. I'm gonna be focused on myself, focused on bettering myself. It's one of those things where I'm like, I am not going to shed any tears. Like, I think it was like one time where, but that was because of me. That was because of my wrongdoing, where I had almost lost a friend, and it was a friend that wanted to cut me off. And I realized, like, the mistakes that I was making, and I'm like, okay, I gotta be a better friend. I overall gotta hang out with them more. I gotta do things, be there for them more and stuff. And I feel like that I wasn't. So that's something that I always reassure with that friend. I'm letting them know, hey, I'm here for you and things. But in this guy's case, it's like, yeah, bro, it's like I said, you're either gonna have to, continue on life with this friend, or continue on life with your girlfriend. But if not, then it's like, yeah, bro, it's one of those things where I'm like, if I'm that friend or family member, I'm gonna be looking at him like, so what you gonna do, bruh? Because yeah, it's like, the thing is this, and that's another thing too, where it's like, you end things off with this friend, and then who knows if the situation might be where it's like you end things off with that friend, and then she might try to, like, I guess, seek revenge, or but then that's the thing too, where it's like, with the family, I'm like, because I feel like I've been like directing my attention talking towards the family. This ain't got nothing to do with you guys. This is about your guys', your family member, the son, the boyfriend, his friend, and his girlfriend. why is the family adding their opinion? That's one thing, I look, I'm not trying to disrespect the fam, but at the same time, I'm like, that's one thing that that grinds my gears is when people that are not even involved be trying to add their opinion. And I'm like, fam, what are you guys? Because I'm like, y'all ain't helping. I'm like, yeah, if I had been the boyfriend and I'm in a situation like that, I looked at the family, I'm like, you guys aren't helping. You guys are not helping. I'm like, I'm gonna say it one more time, you guys are not helping. Please stop talking. You're putting me further into a hole. Don't say no more. Because it's either the girlfriend's going to be mad or the friend is going to be mad. Let me figure this out, okay? And I guess, yeah, talking, to the boyfriend, it's like how you figure a situation like that out. Like I said, you're going to have to cut somebody off, all right? And, yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, I guess, if you cut off the friend, it's really on both sides. It's a 50-50 chance on whether or not things is going to go smoothly and things. So, yeah, it's like if you are, and that's the thing where I'm like, the friend, talking about the friend that does the content, it sounds like she's trying to mess things up. She drops a bombshell like that. She's trying to mess things up. So do you want that to be every relationship that you get into? Because, yeah, let's say you end things off with this girl, and then, yeah, then let's say you try getting in a relationship with this, with the content creator, the quote-unquote content creator. How do you know things with her is going to work out? So that's what I'm saying. It's like you really don't know at the end of the day. That's the thing with life. You really don't know how at the end of the day how life's going to turn out for you and stuff. But if you see the good in something, go for it. And I'm like, and it sounds like it's the girlfriend. It sounds like, she's one of those people. She ain't trying to cause no problems and stuff, but the family, they trying to paint her out, making it seem like I'm like, nah, fam, it's one of those things where, yeah, if I'm the boyfriend, I'm like, go for the girlfriend. The friend, it's one of those things where it's like, I guess if things don't work out with the girlfriend, maybe I don't know, that's the thing too, where it's like, in the family, yeah, that's why it's like, with family, it's I don't really get my friends involved with my family. I guess to just let you guys know a little bit of a little fact about me and things. I mean, they know of my friends. If I'm like, oh, I'm hanging out with this friend or I'm hanging out with that friend, they know of them, but they haven't sat down and met with them, and we done had I know I done hung out with my friends' families and stuff. So yeah, I'm known, but I'm not somebody that be causing problems. So that's messed up on the friends part, where it's you going into this. But that's the thing though, where I'm I ain't never did no stuff like that before, where I'm even if it is a female friend and things, where I'm nah, that's you and your business, yeah, there's been times where I done have feelings for a friend and they were in a relationship, and I'm all right, well, that's a ship that's done sailed. So I'm I gotta move on with my life. It ain't that's the only person. That's one thing that I will say about I guess, because yeah, it does sound like that the friend probably does have some feelings for the guy, that it's one of those things where it's if there was an opportunity for you guys to be with each other and they still went with somebody else, do you really see that as somebody that's relationship material? And it's here it is, they done chose you over somebody else. So yeah, it's you guys might have did that content together, but he still chose somebody else. So yeah, that's one of those things. I'm the friend needs to process that and understand that. But yeah, I don't know. You got some weird ones out there talking about the friend and things. But yeah, let's see how this situation goes down. I don't think there was no upgrades, updates or anything. Hold on for a second. I think it was just a bunch of different comments underneath, because it's a throwaway account. So yeah, that's I think people are trying to go off on the girl and things. Cause it's bro, hold on for a second. There's one thing, a comment that she left where she got -300 downvotes or something. His family, the best friend, wants to do it at some point. It's possible might cheat on you with her. So I'm going to. So wait a minute. Okay. So hold on for a second. There's this one comment. So the person was in my opinion, his family likes the best friend and wants them to be together. At some point, it's a possibility that he might cheat on you with her because of the way he's not taking a step to distance himself and letting his family think you are the problem. Wait a minute. No matter how you think he is perfect, besides, this is a huge problem. Don't be a second to a best friend. While I while I am particularly not against people having best friends of opposite gender, this sounds like a serious issue which might get more out of hand in the future. Please be careful and think through it. Talk to him about your concerns of his family being so defensive about her, and him not taking a step means disrespecting you. Wait a minute. Concern of family so defend not taking a step means disrespecting you. Sometimes, hold on, let me read this. Talk to him about your concerns of his family being so defensive about her, and him not taking a step means disrespecting you. And him not oh, okay, so he's separating it. So he said he should have just left like period and then just said him not taking a step means he's disrespecting you. Like, bro, people be leaving out like words and letters and numbers and whatnot. I'm like, man, say what you gotta say, but say it that makes sense. But anyways, and then he goes on, and whoever this person is, there's like, and them having sex and her telling you that she had him before is a serious red flag. He obviously is letting her think like that. Then the person commented, and they got negative 300,000, or not 300,000, negative 300 downvotes. And she goes on to say, I'm going to keep an eye on him and the way she acts with them. The only person who defends me is his father. How is that? I'm telling you, man, people on the internet are weird. I don't even get how like that gets negative 300 downvotes. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe this person got canceled for some stuff and they found their throwaway account, or maybe it's the best friend and she just created 300 different Reddit accounts and downvoted that. But yeah, man, it is a wild situation. That's crazy. That like, so yeah, it just sounds like everybody besides the dad, they got issues and stuff. Cause I'm like, ain't nobody. I wouldn't get myself involved in no situation like that. They looked at me and asked me for my opinion. I'm like, hey, you do what you think is right. If you feel that you need to be with the friend, okay, then do that. But if you want to be with this girlfriend, you are going to have to cut that friend off because she is going to cause problems, okay? So, but anyways, yeah, that was a pretty crazy story. I'm like, yeah, man, you know, them relationship advice stories, they be some wild stuff. But anyways, yeah, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow or subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.